Hello guys, welcome to another video, and we have quite a lot of good news to get through, some major news as well coming through the day, and it's going to be a really good video. I'm going to enjoy talking about it, and of course, let me know your thoughts on the things I discussed in the comment section. I do love reading them, but before I begin, if you are new here, please hit the subscribe and like as well. It'd be greatly appreciated. So let's start with a major breaking news, and that's Myles Lewis Skelly. Charles Watts, his first big exclusive in a very long time. You guys will remember him during the Thomas Partey saga if you were on Twitter all those years ago. But he came out to say Myles Lewis Skelly has agreed a new Arsenal contract. Huge boost to Arteta and Arsenal. And obviously, Myles Lewis Skelly, there's been a lot of talk about him going to Real Madrid, all this nonsense talk. Liverpool fans, rival fans have been telling us, oh, you guys need to be happy for Myles Lewis Skelly when he makes the step up to Real Madrid. But he's an Arsenal boy, he's an Arsenal fan. He was never just going to leave Arsenal. He loves it here. He gets the love, the appreciation from the fans. And I feel as though, you know, his future is here. He's going to really perform to the highest levels, and I really cannot wait to see what the future holds for him, because I genuinely think Myles Lewis Skelly can reach some really incredible heights at Arsenal Football Club, especially under Mikel Arteta. I think we've got ourselves some hell of a player. And you know, whilst we're talking about that Real Madrid sort of interest, it was that game against Real Madrid. If I had to say my favourite Myles Lewis Skelly moments, of course, the goal against Haaland, then they did the celebration, that was fantastic. But going away to the Bernabeu and putting a performance like he did, 1v1 against Rodrygo, who we want to sign, which is quite funny. It was incredible. The cojones, the confidence, the courage. You just don't have that. You know, not every player has that. But Myles Lewis Skelly has shown that he can do it, that he can have that courage, that he can have that confidence, that he can carry himself forward. And you know what? Fair play to him. I'm happy for the new contract, and I can't wait to see where his future is. Whether that's at left back, whether that's in the defensive midfield role, it's all for Mikel Arteta to sort of think about. Before I actually get further, I would love to just say and announce that I have my first partnership with Dragon Jersey. They provide football kits like these, and they sort of ship all over the world. And you know, you can get 10% off if you use my code Fanatics, and it's just really exciting. They have some really quality kits for a decent price. So if you want to get yourself one, or your friends, your family one, please make sure to head over to dragonjersey.com and order one now with 10% off using code Fanatics. But let us now get into the fixtures. And I mean, of course, the fixtures have come out, and Arsenal's first 6 league games: Manchester United away, Leeds at home, Liverpool away, Forest at home, Man City at home, Newcastle away. I don't think you could draft a hardy set of fixtures in the Premier League for a start in the Premier League. You know, having to go to Anfield, having to go to Old Trafford, having to go to, you know, St James's Park. Out of all those 3 grounds, we only managed to pick 2 out of 9 points. So Mikel Arteta, Arsenal, we need to get those signings done quickly, because if we're coming into the next season and we still haven't got players through the door quickly, we could potentially struggle. And we all know about momentum. Last season, Liverpool had easy fixtures. They built the momentum up, the confidence was built up, and they were able to go on and charge and win the title. For us, all those hard fixtures at the beginning, we've got a kind of difficult middle, but an easy sort of end. The running, we stay in London, which is always a positive sign. So just got to dig in, really. Dig in, you know. Everyone has to play everyone twice. That's the way I'm looking at it. And you can fearmonger, be angry, but look at how good our Big Six record is. We haven't won in how many games? I think it's a ridiculous amount. Just believe in Arteta, believe in what we've got going with the squad. I genuinely think we could surprise a few and actually come out of this with 18 out of 18, 15 out of 18 at the worst. Going to Anfield and Old Trafford wouldn't be bad to drop one of those games. You know, we're not going to win every single game. You know, we've got to be as realistic as possible, but we have a real chance. You know, we're title challengers. Some have us as title favourites. So let's go make a mark and show everybody what we're made of. And it was quite ridiculous to see the sort of outburst from it. I think it's highly likely, more likely Amrin than Arteta. Well, there was a talk spot about who's going to get sacked. And they're already talking about sacking Arteta before the games has even begun. I know there's massive pressure on him to perform. He has to perform. You know, that's just how it is with the Arsenal job. And he's had many seasons. I think this year is the one where he has to deliver silverware. But again, talking about him being sacked already is just shows people already wanting things to happen before they've even happened. You know, this is just how the media work. They're not speaking about anybody else and about Liverpool's hard end or Liverpool's hard middle or City's hard middle. They're just talking about Arsenal Football Club. It just goes to show, you know, what sort of a club we are. We're a big club. Everyone cares about what we've got to say, but we've got to keep on grinding and working hard. Now let's get on to the Thomas Partey situation. We have sort of received further updates. Arsenal are monitoring Luciano Agume's situation, and he is one of the names on the shortlist to replace Thomas Partey. However, they are not contacted the player yet. With Sevilla's financial difficulties, Agume, 23, will probably cost less than 20 million euros. And to be honest, that's massive news. That absolutely is massive news. That Lucian Agume could be coming to Arsenal. I'm a massive fan of him. I talked about him a lot on my Twitter. If you don't follow me on there, go give me a follow. I've been really active on there. And I said, currently watching Lucian Agume, this guy is top. Just seeing him dominant versus Madrid, Atletico and Barcelona. Couldn't get a better profile and player to come in to replace Thomas Partey. 32 years old, Thomas Partey wants 250,000 plus per week. It probably is about time to move on, to be honest, in terms of he's a great performer. He's put some great performances in, but his injury record, although he was fit the whole of last season, it's a bit itsy-bitsy spider. So having someone like Agume, he's young, he's the captain of the under-23 side for France. You know how good that side is. Not under-23, sorry, under-21s. We know how good that side is, and to captain it just shows how good he is. I think it's now time for him to sort of make that step to an Arsenal. Arteta really likes him. He's good on the ball, good fundamentals, strong. He genuinely can be an absolute, just superstar, really, at the defensive midfield role. And another player I was talking about, there's not been any sort of links to him, but I think Ayoub Bouyadi will be a top 3 midfielders in the world, defensive midfielders. And I want you guys to remember me talking about this. Ayoub Bouyadi plays for Lille currently. He's 17 years old. He is outrageous. I've been looking at clips. I've been looking at full match compilations and posting them out on my Twitter. And Bouyadi just looks absolutely incredible. This kid has so many good fundamentals to make it at the top level. His passing ability, his sort of dribbling into space, his reading of the game, his drooling capacity. He's got a lot of things in his bag, which is quite interesting that I think Mikel Arteta will love. Getting someone like Bouyadi, you have to wait a year because he's obviously 17. He has to turn 18. That's where keeping Thomas Partey would make a whole lot of sense. But if you're not going to get Bouyadi, get Agume now, then get rid of Partey. That's just how I look at it. But for sure, Bouyadi is better than Agume. He's a phenomenal player, French. He's going to be a world beater. I can tell you that. Camavingas, Tchouaménis, we've been talking. That's the levels he can show. One of the best. Sitting at the table with the Rodrygos and Rices. He can do that within 3 years. And the kid is only 17. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Whenever I talk about him or look at him as a player, I just get so shocked. But anyway, let's get on to the last little segment. We've had a Hand of Arsenal update. The meeting between Xabi Alonso and Rodrygo is set to take place during the Club World Cup in the USA. The Los Blancos take on Al Hilal today in their opening fixture. His exact role in the team is paramount to any future decision. So, decision time for Rodrygo is set to take place very soon. We know Hand of Arsenal has said many times that he is the main left winger target. And I've expressed many times on Twitter, people have been getting me wrong, saying that I'm saying Martinelli is better than Rodrygo. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying we've got to have a perfect sort of dynamics for Rodrygo to really excel and reach the high levels. Yes, Rodrygo can work at left wing, but are we going to get the best out of him? We want to get this Ferrari going, this Lamborghini type player going, so put him in the best conditions to thrive. That's my way of looking at it. I'm not saying Martinelli's better than Rodrygo, not saying he is the sort of player who's going to come in and do a flop. No, Rodrygo's got too many good fundamentals in the game to just come in and be a flop. But my word, we need to make sure the dynamics make him thrive to the highest levels. That's as simple as it is. People take things out of context, but that's just my way of looking at it. But I'm excited. Transfer window, we need to get those players in with that tough fixture list at the beginning. But I fully believe in Mikel Arteta and the lads to get the job done.